of you are excited to have the session today, happiness? How many of you are excited? If you are excited for today's session, please type in the chat box that you are excited. Just type as excited. Yes. Excited, yes. The name itself excites us, right? When we say like happiness, the moment we say the name happiness, the name itself is excited for all of us, right? So before we could go and get started, okay, I wanted to ask you some of the questions. When you hear the word like happiness, what exactly is the meaning of happiness for you? What is happiness? Can I have some answers in the chat box? I would like to listen from all of you. What is happiness? Because every day we say, I want to be happy. I am happy, everything. Okay. So, okay. Love, family. Okay. All right. Being yourself. Okay. Amazing. Okay. Kind of a feeling with a lovely smile, content, peaceful, peace. Right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Being happy, positive feeling, nice feeling. Okay. Okay, well, thank you so much for the lovely participation. So now I wanted to know how many of you are happy currently. If you are happy currently, just type in the chat box as I. How many of you happy currently? Type in the chat box as I. Not I. Okay, so the one who are not happy, type it no. I see a lot of I, okay, adoption and ambience of happiness. No, no, no. Okay, 50-50, amazing. All right. Perfect. So thank you so much. So I'm sure like you will be able to see my screen, right? Are you able to see my screen? Yes. Okay. Anytime if you are not able to see my screen, please help me to type in the chat box that you are not able to see my screen. Okay. See, basically, happiness is the state of man which corresponds the greatest internal satisfaction of his being condition, completeness, and consciousness of life, realization, his human destination. How many of you agree? Happiness is all about satisfaction and completeness and consciousness. How many of you agree? Happiness is all about like satisfaction, completeness, and consciousness, right? So this is what we are going to learn today and understand where exactly is our happiness index is. All right, perfect. So thank you so much. So let's do a small assessment. Okay, so the people who told you are not happy and the people who mentioned that you are happy, let's do a small assessment and understand where exactly is your happiness index today. Okay, before we could start the assessment, so there are few instructions which I wanted you to follow and listen to me carefully. Okay, and I wanted you to do this activity with your family members also in case if you like it. Okay, so the instructions are below are the several statements about a happiness. Please indicate how much you agree or disagree with each by entering a number with the blank after each statement according to the following scale. And after this slide, you will have a lot of questionnaires. For those questionnaires, when you're reading out that questionnaire, you will have two options. For that statement, whether you strongly agree, for that statement, whether you strongly disagree. Okay, and if you strongly agree, just write it as 1. And if you strongly disagree, write it as 2. If you don't have pen and paper, I would give you 30 seconds. Please go pick it up, pen and paper, or you just keep your mobile phone open so that you can do the assessment there. Okay, I see a couple of the chats. I agree. All right, thank you. Okay, perfect. So now please read the statement carefully. Some of the questions are phrased positively and others are negatively. Don't take too long over individual questions. There are no right or wrong answers. No trick questions. The first answer that comes to your mind and your head is probably the right one for you. If you find the questions difficult, please give the answer that is true for you in general for most of the time. So am I clear in my instructions? If I clear in my instructions and if you agree with this, please type I. If I'm clear with my instructions, and if you agree, and if you have understood, type it I. And if you are ready to play the game with me, the happiness, type I. I. Thank you. I see a lot of I. Okay. Well, so let's start the assessment here. And make sure that I have 29 questions and I wanted you to answer all the 29 questions. Okay. So the first question is, most of the time, I don't feel particularly pleased with the way I am. Do you agree or you don't agree? If you agree, give 1. If you don't agree, give 2. Okay. And for each question, okay, one. Amazing. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So when are you giving the answers, I wanted you to make these answers in your notebook or a phone or anything so that it becomes easy for us to calculate how much that the scoring that you have. Okay. And I'm intensely interested in other people. Okay. My happiness is dependent on other people. For an example, okay, if my friend is happy, then only I am happy. How many of you agree with it? How many of you disagree with it? Good. I feel that the life is very rewarding. How many of you feel that your life is rewarding? Okay, so do you agree completely or do you disagree completely? Agree. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Okay, so have you, I have very warm feeling towards almost everyone, which means I don't have any partiality to anyone. Okay, I treat everyone the same and I have a warm feeling towards everyone and almost every time. Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, and I'm rarely wake up feeling is rested. I rarely wake up feeling is rested. How many of you agree? How many of you disagree? And if you have not understood the statement, please type in the chat box that you didn't understand and I can explain you. I think most of you have already agreed. Okay, say again. Okay, all right. So I rarely wake up feeling rested, which means my feelings are rested and I wake up a couple of the times, which means that most of the time I'm in the absent-minded. Most of the time I'm in absent-minded. People need to wake me up. Okay, they must say that, okay, wake up. Now it's almost, yeah. Okay, so I am particularly optimistic about my future. How many of you agree? How many of you disagree? Agree. Okay, cool. Agree. Okay, cool, amazing. I found most of the things amusing. I find most of the things amusing. I'm not saying amazing, I'm saying amusing. Agree. Okay. I'm always committed and involved. I'm always committed and involved. Give yourself a scoring 1 or 2. I'm always committed and involved. Life is good. Life is beautiful for me. How many of you agree? How many of you disagree? Wow, I feel a lot of people are so positive here. I do not think that the world is a good place. How many of you are going through this, considering the entire pandemic and the surroundings and everything, that I don't think that the world is in the good place? Strongly agree. Guys, I repeat this. Okay, I don't think that the world is in the good place, which means that, do you agree the world is in the good place, or do you agree, do you disagree that the world is not in the good place? Disagree. Okay, cool, good. And I laugh a lot. For no reason. I don't need the reason to laugh, and I laugh a lot. How many of you agree? How many of you disagree? If you are finding it difficulty in giving 1 or 2, you can even give it yes or no. Okay, why or no. Okay, perfect. All right, so I am well satisfied about everything in my life. How many of you feel that, okay, I'm well satisfied everything in my life? Yes or no? Yes or no? Now let's change from agree to disagree. Let's go yes or no. Yes, no, yes, yes. All right. Okay, I don't think I look attractive. How many of you are having this confidence always puts you down, that I don't look good, I'm not feeling good, what people think about me, I'm not dressed good today. Okay, and how do I speak to people today? How many of you think that? Disagree? No. Okay, cool. Okay, and there is a gap between what I would like to do and what I have done. How many of you say yes? How many of you say no? There is a gap between what I would like to do and what I have done, which means I will tell, okay, sometimes we wanted to do so many things, but we are not able to do for some or the other reason. And at the same time, we are just giving the reasons for not doing that. Yes. No. Okay. I'm very happy. How many of you say that I'm very happy? Okay. Quite a few people have responded very well, and I'm so glad and very happy for it. I find beauty in something. How many of you feel that you see anything, you attract the beauty in it rather than just attracting to the negative in it? Yes, no, yes, no. Okay, cool, amazing. I always have a cheerful effect on others. Agree or disagree? Yes. I can fit in, find time for everything I want to do. I want to do anything, which means that I will fit in everything that I wanted to do it. How many of you will agree with it? Agree? Okay, I feel mentally alert. I feel mentally alert. I feel able to take anything on. Agree? Okay. And I usually have a good influence on events. I want to do anything and I have influence on everything, and I can turn the bad things into good things. How many of you will agree that the things are in our hand and we can change anything the way we want it? Yes. No. Okay. Yes, no, yes, no, 50%. Okay. I don't feel particularly healthy. I mean, I'm not feeling healthy. Like, how many of you are having that thing in your mind that I can't try, but something will not be in our hands? Okay, amazing. And I will come back to it. Okay. And I don't have particularly happy memories of the past. How many of you think that I don't have particular memories, happiness in the past? Disagree. Okay, cool. Disagree. Was past. Okay. Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much for your lovely participation in this happiness index. Okay, so now I wanted to ask you one more thing before we could go ahead for the next slide. How many of you find these questions were interesting and you could at least get something about the happiness? And do you think it was like a mirror for us? Interesting. If you find that these questions were a mirror effect for us because we always wanted a reason to be happy, type I in the chat box. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. So now, what is happiness? We covered what is happiness. We understood what is happiness index. I am not calculating the marks because people were actually participating in the chat box. Otherwise, we used to calculate this in the marks and understand where exactly is your happiness index. Like out of 29, where exactly is your score standing? Okay, so which helps you in identifying why you aren't happy. Okay. Okay. How many of you think, okay, you know what, there was a research done on the happiness, and according to the research by the Sonja, professor of psychology with UC Riverside University, do you know 50% of our happiness comes from our genes, 10% is from the life circumstances, and 40% from the intentional activity? How many of you will agree with this? If you agree with this, type in the chat box that you agree with this. Agree, disagree. Okay, all right. So it's okay, totally fine. Agree or disagree. So the people who are disagree, I will tell you how it works. Okay. So what is the meaning of a gene according to you? I don't want the meaning of a dictionary. Okay, of genes. Okay. So how many of you know what is the meaning